you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for.
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all of these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it for Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula Board Formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes. Do you think that worked?
I do think that works, Dr. Kirk, and everyone, and my co-host, Dr. Kirk, will be here in just a moment as he ran into a couple of technical issues, but he will be here in just a moment. But shall we kick this off and get to know these people?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it. First, from Philadelphia, PA, operations for a 30-plus year, a degree in engineering, an MBA, worked for companies like Comcast, Fidelity, then a fractional coup, otherwise known as COO, for the last 15 years. 6 now bringing complete operational efficiencies into companies, making the cost of implementation more easily received, contracted by the Navy to run operations of a massive project, now partnering with a company serving clients nationwide in every industry he's connected to. Let's welcome Mr. Rob Sullivan.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Rob, this is the tricky part.
Okay.
Because after the introductions, everybody gets to share a headline fun fact. And we've got so many of you here that we want to keep that to a headline, not an entire story. And Rob, you're going to kick us off on that fun fact. And so what is your headline fun fact, Rob?
So mine was after college, I spent 9 weeks traveling the world and went to 19 different countries.
19 countries in 9 weeks. That is impressive. Where was your favorite place you visited, Rob?
So we were in Barcelona for the Olympics. That's how long ago it was. So that was one of the coolest things.
That is awesome. Congratulations, Rob. That sounds amazing. And are you ready to have some fun?
I am.
All right, let's do it. Next up, from Toronto, Canada, a blind individual that is an advocate for people with disabilities who has devoted his career to creating opportunities for marginalized communities. Since his move to Canada, he has served as CEO of his company, which educates to protect people and small businesses from becoming victims of the ever-growing threat of fraud and scams. Previously served as the president of Disability Issues and Awareness Leaders as an employee research group for the Fortune 100 company, and participated widely in the Lions Club International let's welcome our Lord, our King, Your Highness, Jeffrey Pledger.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
We are so glad that you are here. And Jeffrey, what is your fun fact?
Fun fact, I've run 22 marathons, the longest being 100K that I did in Kaliszia, Poland back in 1988. But the most fun that I've had is doing the 2 that I did with my wife, walking with her to complete 2 New York City marathons.
2 New York City marathons. This man ran a 100-mile marathon.
Ultra marathon.
That's insane.
100K, 62 miles.
62 miles. Amazing. Yes. The metric system.
The metric system.
We got this.
Yep.
Jeffrey, welcome to the party. Congratulations. Bella, who else is amazing? Dr. Kirk Adams assembled today. Welcome.
Welcome, Jeffrey. Next from Hanover, Maryland, a software professional who has led the entire engineer functions, transformed processes, led innovation initiatives, and now runs a sales for service provider, always striving to help people. He has a keen interest in nonprofit space. He believes good software makes a positive difference for all. Let's welcome to the show, Prashant Baker.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Otherwise known as PK.
How should we refer to you today? PK, say?
PK is good.
PK. Awesome. Thank you for that, PK. And your fun fact. Did we talk about Plato, your friend?
I forgot to mention Plato.
So, PK and everybody, Bella's friend was Plato, the Greek philosopher. She time travels. Maybe she's a little bit younger than she looks or older than she looks. Not sure which way we're going with that. But Plato, the Greek philosopher, said, play a game with me for an hour and we will learn more about each other than if we speak for a year. That's what we're getting to do here. Get to know each other, could have a cup of coffee, hang out at Starbucks, or do this. PK, what's your fun fact?
Well, my fun fact is a bit painful, but I'm the only person I know who has had surgery on my tongue.
Oh. Wow. Yeah, that is a ooh. PK, we want to know more about that at some juncture. Just not right now because we got 9 folks here. Let's go.
Next up, from St. Louis, Missouri, he is the chief sales officer for a company that creates innovative accessibility solutions focused on people with disabilities. Their technologies, like the Hero Door Opener, converts any door into a personal automatic door at an affordable cost. That sounds fun. With a robust background in tech sales, his passion lies in leveraging innovative technology, solve real-world problems, in particular in the realm of accessibility technology. Let's welcome to the show, Jamal Stevenson.
Jamal, welcome to Dr. Kirk Adams' Heart of Influence, and please, your fun fact.
Super happy to be here. Thank you for having me. A fun fact of mine is someone stole my identity. Freshman year of college, someone stole my identity and committed armed robbery, which I was arrested for a year later. So throughout my whole collegiate career, I spent fighting for an expungement. Eventually got it. Everything got cleared up, but super difficult going through.
Wow. Jamal, we've had 8,000 plus people on the Heart of Influence. Welcome to that ecosystem, and everybody welcome. And that is definitely one of the top 10 most heartbreaking fun facts, but a story of incredible resiliency. I'm so sorry that happened. That's outrageously insane. I can't even imagine what that journey was like, but we appreciate your resiliency and your presence. So thank you, Jamal.
Jamal is ready.
Let's go.
I think Jamal is ready. Coming from Colombia, he is the president of the Rotary Club of World Disability Advocacy, a virtual global club focusing on human rights of people with disabilities worldwide. After working in marketing in various financial institutions for most of his career, for the last 10 years, he has focused on getting people with disabilities jobs. Through originally Massachusetts, he is currently spending some time in Colombia, South America. Let's welcome to the show, Ken Mason.
Ken, welcome to the party. Appreciate you, and please, your fun fact.
Well, I guess my fun fact is the fact that when I retired, I decided to move down from Boston to Columbia, which everybody says why. And but I've been here for 3 years, and sadly, I still only speak like a child Spanish. So still working on it.
Me too. So Ken, welcome to the party, and you're ready to have a little bit of fun today, Ken.
Okay, gracias.
Let's go. Muchas gracias.
El
That's right.
burrito Taco Bell.
Let's go. Está Susana en casa.
El Burrito Taco Bell. From Akron, Ohio. After a career in sales and marketing at a Fortune 250 company, he now invests his personal and professional experience and network as an advocate for the blind and those with different disabilities. Sparked a progressive vision lost since early adulthood, he currently serves as the president and CEO of a company on a mission to make Braille literacy, touchable art, and a technology affordable and accessible for the blind and low vision. Also serving on councils, committees, and boards, he continues to advocate for the workforce development and equal employment opportunity, as well as accessible transportation and exclusive education. Let's welcome to the show, David Birch.
David, welcome to Dr. Kirk Adams Heart of Influence, and please, David.
Thank you. I'd have, my apologies, I would have provided something more brief. I got a couple cats walking around here. I'm staying at some friend's house for a few days. I'm down in Spartanburg, Greenville area, helping do some cleanup after the storms down here. So my fun fact is I think I'm allergic to this cat that keeps walking over in front of the keyboard. I've had myself on mute because I've been sneezing, and I'm.
That's a great fun fact. Listen, we can have depth of like arrests and expungements, or we have simplicity like I'm allergic to a cat that's going to make me sneeze during the Heart of Influence.
I'm starting to think that.
Yeah, let's go get it.
Let's go get it. Coming from somewhere in the world, he is a co-founder and CEO of an e-commerce platform designed to make online shopping accessible and enjoyable for everyone, especially the blind and low vision users. They offer 1 million of products, deals on a platform fully compatible with popular screen readers like NVDA, Apple VoiceOver. We see significant opportunities in the intersection of AI and accessibility, committed to enhancing online shopping experience for the 1.3 billion individuals globally with disabilities. Let's welcome to the show, Patrick Long.
Hi, everybody.
Patrick, I'm going to drive Bella crazy, knock you over the microphone. That'll happen at least 12 more times. And please, your fun fact.
Yeah, so I'm really into the RV life, in particular being like a digital nomad. So during the pandemic, sort of after COVID was wrapping up, I was traded the traditional office life for a life in the national parks. So sort of traveling around and working remotely, enjoying nature's wonders.
Coolest nature wonder you've seen? Like if you said like one that really blew your mind and heart open.
Yeah, so as I was driving around Yellowstone, there was some like bison walking around. And you know, when it's super late at night, it's sort of scary when they just pop off on the side, sort of surprises you.
Bison are in the building. No bison burgers tonight.
Let's go. That sounds good. All right, next up from coming from Washington, I forget where in Washington. I'm sorry, coming from Washington as a CEO of a career readiness and exploitation platform tailored for Gen Z high schoolers and young adults. He is passionate about bridging the gap between future workforce and meaningful career pathways. Previously, he worked as a merger and acquisition management consultant and traveled the nation optimizing warehouse operations for Hyundai. He is also an Eagle Scout dedicated to mentoring, spending the past decade mentoring and company culture programs and have empowered 5,000 individuals. Let's welcome to the show, Eddie Mazzageros.
Eddie, thank you for your appearance here today. And Dr. Kirk Adams, Heart of Influence, warm welcome to you and the other heart-centered, growth-minded folks. Congratulations on your Eagle Scout-ness, present to the mastery required to achieve that status and how few do. Thanks for being here. And what is your fun fact?
My fun fact is that this is my new phone after losing my old one, mushroom hunting.
Mushroom hunting.
Mushroom hunting.
It's
Sounds
a new
dangerous.
What does I'm so
Yes.
fascinated.
So
I'm gonna have to
if you
chat
get-
GPT
If you
this.
gave the one sentence of mushroom hunting, what is mushroom hunting?
Mushroom hunting is going out into the woods and identifying edible mushrooms.
Like edible, like vegetable mushrooms, or like Bella's friends like mushrooms? Like which version of that? Or both?
Northwest, the mushrooms that are in season right now are chanterelles, as well as lobster mushrooms.
We're
Lion-
talking like
These are edible mushrooms. These are not magic mushrooms.
these are not magic mushrooms. These
There
are
are
just
some things like Super Mario mushrooms, but that's a completely separate story.
Elfrida, these are your people.
These are our people. Coming from, again, somewhere in the world, a co-founder and chief executive officer of a certified minority and women-owned small business, working with organizations to ensure everyone, including people with disabilities, has access to digital content. After a successful career as a nonprofit and corporate arena, she passionately advocates for people with disabilities and has done so since her daughter, Allie, was born with visual impairment. Her efforts for women's rights and disability communities have earned her awards, acclaimed, and recognition for a highly regarded publication, associations, and government entities. She also works as a founder for the Closing the Gap Food Insecurity Program for undocumented immigrants. Let's welcome to the show, Kim Alfonso.
Thank you. And I am coming from Washington, D.C.
DC is in the house. And Kim, please, what is your fun fact on Dr. Kirk's Heart of Influence?
So my fun fact is after many, many years, my husband has been trying to get me to get on a boat, on a cruise. And I finally took a 10-day cruise to Greece and all the islands.
That is beautiful. Congratulations. That is a wonderful. And if you had one highlight of something you saw in Greece.
I love Santorini. Loved it, loved it. White, beautiful.
Outstanding. Well, thank you for being here today. Congratulations on your beautiful trip, Bella.
And Sean,
Yes.
there is somebody extraordinary that brought all of these people together today. Wait till
I thought Dr. Kirk did.
Wait till I tell you about him.
Oh.
16 years as the president of the Lighthouse for the Blind, and another 6 as the president of the American Foundation for the Blind, a PhD in leadership and change, the managing director for Innovative Impact LLC, engaging in fun, innovative, high impact projects dedicated to making the world a more inclusive and equitable place. The one, the only, Dr. Kirk Adams.
The one and only heart-centered, growth-minded, masterful, integrous leader that you are, Dr. Kirk Adams. Thank you for co-creating this magic today, bringing these folks together, giving them that gift and value of introduction in the assembly of an audience. Not an easy thing to do, and you've done that. Dr. Kirk Adams, please, what's your fun fact on your Heart of Influence?
Fun fact, went to Seattle Fish Guys the other night and they had fresh Louisiana Gulf prawns and I bought 2 pounds and they're in the kitchen and I'm gonna make jambalaya dinner tonight, Sean.
Whoa, you having jambalaya for dinner tonight?
Yeah, I'm gonna get
Look
in
at
that
that.
kitchen
Look
and
at that.
rattle those pots and pans.
Let's go. Dr. Kirk's rocking the house.
Dr. Kirk's rocking the house.
Yes, I don't cook. Is that bad?
I
Yes.
do know that.
Yeah, we all know that.
There are vegetables involved.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to order pizza later, Dr. Kirk.
What?
Just kidding.
What?
Yes. Dr. Kirk Adams is making delicious meals and I order pizza. I should be embarrassed, but I'm not. Who else is here today? Oh, this woman seated to my right is the woman who's been introducing everyone. She was diagnosed with dyslexia as a child, and at the age of 8, she began her journey of resiliency and overcoming selling cress on her parents' front lawn as her first step down her influence journey. By the age of 19, she put 3 words together that don't go together. 19, network marketing, and 7 figures. That's what this woman did. Crazy. 24, 25, and 26 years old in a male-dominated industry, I'm sensing a pattern of overcoming resiliency and outlierness for sure. She was three-peating like Michael Jordan, except not in hoops, but instead in business brokerage. She became the first woman to ever be Nevada's #1 business broker, let alone 3 straight times. And oh, for those dudes, she was the youngest person, male or female, ever be #1, and then she did it 2 more times. She began to train entrepreneurs and Fortune 500 companies as she moved out of the space of business brokerage. And in 2019, every sales team this woman worked with doubled their sales. She's a skier, surfer, scuba diver, adventurer in most extreme of conditions. Maybe she learned it from a blind dude. Maybe she learned it from YouTube. I think today, because I'm in Denver, it was a blind dude. Maybe next week it might be YouTube. We'll see.
Uh-oh.
No, just kidding. Okay. And this incredible woman who has been a philanthropist, co-raising nearly $10 million for charity with the Unblinded team in 2023, courageously and publicly battled cancer and won. Let's welcome to Dr. Kirk Adams' Heart of Influence, the woman that put the heart in it, Bella Burrito. Hi, Bella.
Hello. I'm going to model Dr. Kirk's fun fact, and I'm going to go with the fun fact of tonight. One of Sean's favorite meals is Friday's chicken strips, and they have closed the Fridays near us. So I'm going to attempt to make in the air fryer Friday's chicken strips. And so if you order pizza, you might be sleeping outside.
I'm having chicken strips tonight, Dr. Kirk Adams, and not pizza and everything. That is an amazing fun fact. Let's go.
Let's go. And I'm going to introduce this guy, the man that Tony Robbins said, there's no one who leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callagy. He beats world champions like Bet Key at body surfing competitions. He's only one of 2 attorneys to win 2 top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 2016, and the only one that's blind out of 1.2 million attorneys. And in fact, the state of New Jersey thought he was so cool that they actually named him one of New Jersey's most influential attorneys. He has spoken on stages such as Disney, T-Mobile, Salesforce, Tony Robbins 18 times. And when he's not busy flying around speaking on stages, he's an incredible philanthropist that raised nearly $10 million for refugees in the Ukraine. Let's welcome my co-host, Mr. Sean Callagy.
Well, thank you, Dr. Kirk Adams. Warm welcome to everyone. Thank you, Bella, for all the beautiful introductions you did as an example of possibility and resiliency with your dyslexic diagnosis. Really wonderful job as always. My fun fact for today, I'm thinking I'm going to go with this. It just feels right. My mom had surgery yesterday, and I often go with I'm a blind man that's taught sighted people to ski, surf, and scuba dive, but I think this has a little bit more relevancy and more potency and maybe even more aspirational energy, a la Martin Luther King style. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
So my mom had surgery yesterday, and it was a beautiful day of gratitude that everything went well. And in a moment, I had to go to the restroom. And so I went to the restroom. And as a blind person, there's urinals. And I had no idea that there was plastic on the urinal. And yeah, that happened.
That happened.
Yes. And so nothing on my pants or shoes or shirt or clothing, but it was close. Dr. Kirk Adams, can you feel me on this problem?
Been there, done that.
That's my fun fact for today. So on a day that the biggest concern initially was my mom's surgery, it became staying dry with the urinal covered in plastic. All right. So Bella,
why would they do that to you?
I know. Let's go.
Let's go. So shall we kick this off? So he let me know at the beginning of the show that we could call him Lord or Your Highness. So I think we'll go with Your Highness Jeff. Or Lord Jeff.
Lord Jeff.
I think Lord Jeff goes.
Yes. So this is what we're doing. We're having some fun.
Simply Jeff would work.
Okay. Thank you. We'll go with Jeff then. So having a little bit of fun, but we're up to serious business now because everybody here is here because we want more. That's why we're here. We want to create more impact, more scaling, maybe even more financial abundance for ourselves or others, but we want something more. And what we're really clear about, it's been the study of my life for 27 years, is that more happens after yes. And we live in a world where a lot of yeses that shouldn't happen do, and a lot of yeses that should happen don't. So Bella's going to be anybody you want her to be. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't think pitching, hooking, closing, I don't think that resonates with the heart-centered, growth-minded, integrous, masterful humans that all of you are here today. I think instead, it's like, how do we open the listening of people so our message can get through this bombarding, crowded, crazy world of information and decision? So Bella, to illustrate this, will be an ideal client potentially, or a charitable fundraising partner, or she could be somebody famous like Oprah Winfrey or Warren Buffett or anybody, Jeff, that you would want her to be, that you're going from hello to yes with. It does not have to be a sale. This is not Wolf of Wall Street meets Boiler Room. It could just be a yes for a longer conversation, any yes. So Jeff, please, what would you like to be going from hello to yes, or who would you like Bella to be that you're going from hello to yes with?
Let's go with a small business owner.
Oh, take us in, Bella.
All right. Hello, this is Bella.
How are you, Bella?
I'm
Nice to
doing
meet you. This is Jeff.
Nice to meet you as well, Jeff.
I saw you the other day at the coffee shop down the street, and I thought maybe we could potentially share a cup of dark forest black coffee if you're available.
Dark horse. Can I add a little cream to my coffee?
Absolutely anything you would like.
Awesome.
I'll
And
even-
what would you like to discuss over a cup of coffee?
I think the most important thing that's out there is the repeated process of how people fall victim to the continuing problem of frauds and scams that are happening online and offline. We
My
hear
dad just faced that. My dad just got scammed out of $2,000 and he is devastated.
I could understand it. Hopefully he's past the embarrassment and the shame, and he should actually get out there and talk about it, because that's the educational process that people are afraid to share. So many people who have this happen to them just feel humiliated, abused, and just don't want to share the moment. But then when we don't share the moments, we don't learn. And when we don't learn, when we fail not to learn, then we fail not to succeed going forward to prevent these problems, because we fall into them time and time again.
So is that your mission in the world? You want people going around, sharing about fraud and scams, spread the word?
No. Oh, no. You need the tools that are out there. You need the tools that are out there. For our company, Cyber AI, we have a browser extension that works in 95% of browsers and 99% of operating systems that are out there. We also promote a book that Cyber Ali, who is my service dog, is the cyber guide to helping you understand how to reduce your risks, yet increase your peace of mind, which is so important out there. And finally, for you specifically, since you're small business, we've developed our own set of series of Cyber AI Academy cyber awareness training videos to help you understand the pitfalls of phishing emails, fake social media accounts, and most importantly, business email compromise, BEC. Did you know that BEC, according to the FBI's IC3 task force, says that they are responsible now for 99% of data breaches that are happening in businesses all over the world?
I did not know that, Jeff, but I would definitely look forward to that cup of coffee and learning more about it.
Thanks. I look forward. What are you doing next Monday?
I'm having coffee
Free at
with
9
you.
a.m.?
I'm having coffee with you. Let's
That
go.
sounds like a great idea.
Let's do it.
Jeff,
All right.
I like it.
Jeff. Awesome. And who's following Jeff up?
We got Mr. Rob Sullivan.
Rob, who would you like Bella Verita to be, please?
I'm not really a cold call kind of person, but I guess
Who said we're cold calling?
It seems like.
What seemed like that?
That
when I said
my instructions, say everything that I have is
when I
true.
said my instructions, I say anything about cold calling, because part of what we train on is listening. So did I say anything about cold calling?
No.
Okay. So who would you like Bella to be?
Potential client.
Perfect. And it's a set up meeting already?
Sure.
Yes. So what would a client avatar for you be? And can I explain to you why I just did that? It wasn't to be rude or disrespectful.
No, not at all.
One of the fun, no, no, no. One of the fundamental things we are fancy ourselves as the greatest influence trainers on the planet. And one of the most critical things that everybody needs to understand is as soon as you are put in any degree of false frame, you have to disrupt it immediately. Because people make split-second decisions about who you are, what your charitable cause is, what your business cause is, who you are as an accountant, lawyer, Indian chief, whatever you are in any way, shape, or form. And so that statement could make it sound like this show is about training people how to cold call, which would be like calling Dr. Kirk Adams, a 3-card Monty dealer, right? So, and it's not intentional, but humans do it all the time. And so what we train relentlessly people to do amongst the 100 things we train them to do is the instant a false frame appears, immediately disrupt it. And the reason I did it with a bit of precision and directness, right, is because we want to train everybody else not to do it too. So if you're in a group influence dynamic, we immediately go zap, right? Like, oh, I'm sorry, when did I say that? With question mastery, right? And it's okay, but it does happen incredibly frequently. So at the highest levels of mastery, we're in service and support of, because it's going to happen to each and every one of you constantly. Oh, I get it. I know what you do. Yeah, I understand. But that doesn't really apply to me. And I get it. You're, something, cybersecurity thing. My cousin does that. Right. And it's instantly a false frame, or usually a false frame. And we aren't trained masterfully in how to redirect and reopen the frame so we can get to truth. As Malcolm Gladwell cites in his book, Blink, and all the studies cited within, people are making split-second decisions on who and what you are, and they are continuously making and remaking split-second decisions on who and what you are. And if we speak into a misframe, then we have no capacity to cause yes. And all we are is Charlie Brown's teacher saying, wah, 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 wah. Cybersecurity, yeah, my cousin does that. Yeah, I really don't need that. Or security and identity theft. Yeah, like, I have the Shield for $9 or something. Like, and we have no capacity to influence. So take us in.
Okay. Hello, this is Bella.
Hey, Bella, how are you doing? My name's Rob Sullivan. How's your week going?
My week is going pretty fantastic. Actually, my father is on his way to come visit, so I'm excited.
Okay. Well, what I do is cost reduction consulting. And basically, I'd like to learn a little bit more about your business and see if there's a potential that we could save you guys some money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always into saving money. What does that it's yeah. What does that look like? Like, is that
So basically, we have 15 different categories that we look at. They're all indirect. Everything we do is free. And once we do our analysis.
So you can save me money for free?
Absolutely.
Whoa, that sounds like fun. Are you sure this isn't a scam?
I'm absolutely positive. So for 15 years, I was a fractional COO. I would go into manufacturing companies, take over their operations, put process procedures in place, and I would actually bring this company into my clients. Kind of made my bill a little bit more palatable if I saved the company that I was working for $30,000 on their telecom.
Yeah.
So my last contract was with the Navy. Was running a manufacturing facility, building ventilation carts during the pandemic. So when that was done, they kind of made me an offer I couldn't refuse. I love the business model. I can only save companies money. But what I was saying is we have 15 different categories. The big ones are telecom, credit card processing, waste management, UPS, FedEx. So we literally have a fact-finding call with the client, which takes roughly 30 minutes. We ask for 3 months of invoicing. And then the client's pretty much done. We might have some email questions, but we really don't take up any more of their time. My team goes and does the free value analysis. We get a market basis, and then we leverage the fact that we have 30,000 clients, and we're able to negotiate rates better than the clients can do on their own. We average about 28% savings. 80% of our clients don't even change vendors. And once we present our findings, there is no obligation to move forward. Everybody really does, because it just drops money to the bottom line. And if they do move forward, we share in the savings.
Sounds very interesting, Rob. The Jewish side of me definitely likes to save some money. So, why don't we have a little bit of a longer conversation, and I'd like to see if this is really real or not.
Absolutely. And I'd like to learn more about your business, and I can send over some case studies of what we've done with other similar companies.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for that, Rob, and great job, Rob. Great job, Jeff. And this is the time that we get to the judges, otherwise known as feedbackers. And feedbackers, it's going to be 30 seconds of feedback for either Jeff or Rob, something that they did great, something that they could do to improve, and then like a little next step system. Like the next step could be you'd rather go to the dentist and have a root canal than have a longer conversation with Jeff or Rob. I don't think anyone's going to want a root canal on a Thursday. We got the weekend coming up. So maybe, as Jeff suggested, that next step is a little mocha chocolate and a little croissante at Starbucks for a little bit longer conversation. But if that's not enough time, maybe you rent a private room at the Capitol Grill, getting the seafood tower and the nice juicy steak. Unless you're a vegan, of course, maybe you're having salad and French fries. But you're not going to skip out on dessert because you want to have the longest meeting possible with Rob or Jeff. And if that's still not enough time, you would rent a private jet and fly anywhere in the world after picking up Dr. Kirk, of course, and fly anywhere in the world with Rob or Jeff to have the longest meeting possible. And let's kick this off with PK. And PK, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Jeff?
Well, I really liked the way Jeff started off, nice and simple, and a very casual conversation. So that was a very nice start. What I think he should have done a little bit better is maybe, ask a little bit more about your situation, what you already have, whether you have already suffered from a scam or a fraud or anything like that, or anybody near to you and dear to you. So maybe just a little bit of more information from you, and then he could have made his presentation more personal to you.
All right. PK, thank you very much. Bella.
Let's go. Ken, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Rob?
Well, I was thinking about the time when I used to be a marketing director, and people would call me all the time on this kind of stuff. And in both of these cases, and both of these gentlemen, they have a product that has a lot of universal, it has a large market. What used to, and considering the fact this is supposed to be a phone call, but what used to turn me off about people coming in and trying to sell me stuff was that they would come in and sell me their product and never ask me about me. In both these cases, I understand it's a phone call and it's a basically introduction phone call, but there wasn't a whole lot of interaction about you. I've always learned, and in sales.
And Ken, I'm so sorry, just because we got to keep it tight because we got so many of you. And so we want to keep it to 30 seconds. So what would be your next step with Rob?
What would be the next step with Rob? I'd have him come in. I'd have him come in because he's certainly got an interesting product.
And maybe some cider donuts for Halloween. Would that resonate?
That sounds good.
Let's go. Cider donuts, Bella.
Cider donuts. Let's go, Patrick. Patrick, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Jeff?
Yeah, I think he did a pretty good job introducing the product. I think it might have been helpful if you could just jump straight to the point and get the sell faster, because I think when there was a lot of almost like small talk. I think sometimes when you go straight to the sell, it can grab the attention. The hook could be a lot stronger.
All right, Patrick. And next step would be maybe a little Halloween donuts, a meal, private jet, or nothing. What would it be?
I think just additional phone call just to get more information. would be really helpful. Yeah.
And if cider donuts were sent to you, Patrick, would you eat them?
Yeah, of course.
During the phone call. All right. Note to file, Patrick likes cider donuts. So
Patrick likes cider donuts. Let's go, Kim. Kim, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Rob?
Again, I thought he did really well. I would agree that just a little bit more information upfront, more digging in terms of getting to know you as a customer a little bit more. So there's a little bit more clarity with it. I think you had to ask a question to get a little bit more information, but I would certainly meet with him again to find out more about what he has to offer and whether or not it's something
if you had to choose cider donuts, Starbucks coffee, or something else, Kim, what do you pick?
I'm a Starbucks any day.
Mocha choco lattes.
Mocha choco lattes is
Yeah,
coming.
let's go.
Yes, let's go. Jamal. Jamal, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Jeff?
Yes. So my 30 seconds of feedback for Jeff. Beautiful job. Clean introduction. The one thing that I would do better is just be more concise, right? You have limited amount of time to get what you need to say out, to get the understanding to get the other person to understand your business and what you do in your products. And I would allow more time to understand the other person.
Good. Jamal, your communication skill sets are fundamentally tremendous. The speed, congruency, energetic transference, the alignment of your words, vocal qualities, body language, really extraordinary. So impressive, great speed, and Jamal gets it. Let's go.
Jamal gets it, and let's go. Eddie, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Rob?
I think Rob was, he sounded like an amazing subject matter expert in his field. So with that, I personally would like to learn more. I will say that I was slightly a little turned off when it came to asking how you're doing, mentioning of like a family member coming in town, and then just skipping right through it. This felt a little impersonal to me, which would have veered me off, but because of your subject matter expertise, I'd be a little curious. Let's grab some coffee.
Beautiful feedback.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you, Eddie. Let's go, Dave. Dave, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Jeff?
For Jeff, I guess I'm not clear on what his context was his appointment already set, but it sounded like a first conversation. So Jeff sounded personable, and I personally would not spend as much time talking, about buying you coffee and stuff. I mean, that's an icebreaker, but I get to the point a little more quickly. But I liked how personable Jeff was, and once past the talk about the coffee, he kind of introduced what he does, and needs assessment is always more questions than statements. And I think he was right on there. So yeah.
Cool. And what would the next step, if any, be?
For me personally, I would have a cup of coffee with him, but it would not be a high priority for me. If it fit into my schedule, I would meet with him for coffee.
Cool. Well, thank you for that, Dave.
Thank you for that, Dave. Let's go, Dr. Kirk Adams. How about your 30 seconds of feedback for Rob?
Oh, well, when he said save money for free, that opened your listening, Bella. So I thought that was great. Great certainty. Obviously knows his business. Supported that with some numbers and some structure. And I would I'd go to Capitol Grill and order a medium rare ribeye.
Whoa!
And a baked potato.
Going ribeye. Going ribeye. Bella wants the tomahawk.
If we're at Capitol Grill in New York, I'll go cheesecake.
Let's go.
Let's go.
In the vault, Dr. Kirk. Dr. Kirk, you know what time it is? Bella Rita thinks it's only hospitable of me, since Jeff and Rob stepped into that participant seat, to put me on that hot seat. Bella.
Yes, so Dr. Kirk, as you know, this is the time in the show that I get to put Sean on the hot seat in a scenario that he has no idea about, because I've been cooking them up as the show's been going on. Rob, Jeff, maybe they knew what they were doing. Maybe they didn't. However, Dr. Kirk, you and I are going to conspire to put Sean on the hot seat. You get to choose what scenario Sean goes from hello to yes on. You can change anything about my scenarios, or you can come up with something much, much harder on your own. Are you ready to hear what I have for today?
Yes.
All right. So option number one is, I thought a great ecosystem merger for Jeff would be the AARP. So option number one is Sean would go from Hello to Yes with the CEO of AARP to ecosystem merge and put something about his company, maybe in the their like mail outs or their newsletter to educate the elder generation on their cybersecurity issues, since my dad was affected by that. Next up, let's go. One of the things that frustrates me more than anything, Dr. Kirk, is the fact that Amazon, not every show on Prime has the audio assist. It drives me bananas. And so I think option number two is Sean goes from Hello to Yes with the CEO of Amazon Prime, that every show that goes on Prime must have audio assist. That is option number two. And then option number three is I read that GE Aerospace was doing some massive hiring. And so I thought Sean could role play you, Dr. Kirk, or somebody here that would convince the CEO to hire 30% of those with visual or other disabilities. So those are the three options I have for you today. Dr. Kirk, any of those tickle your fancy?
I love aerospace manufacturing. So I got to go aerospace manufacturing.
Okay. And then who would you like to play? I think his name was Larry something or other, is the CEO. Yes, Larry Culp. And who would you like to play Larry Culp? And who exactly do you think, should Sean be you or should he be somebody else? Who do you think he should be?
Sean can be me. I'm an expert in employment of people with disabilities.
Okay.
And let's have Patrick be the CEO of GE Aerospace.
Patrick, are you up for being the CEO of GE Aerospace?
Sure.
And you're going to play Dr. Kirk, and you're going to convince them that 30% of the people that they hire should have disability.
Oh boy.
Going to help those with disabilities get jobs.
Okay. Hi, is Mr. Culp available?
Yes, I'm right here.
Hey, Mr. Culp, this is Dr. Kirk Adams. We had a 3-minute conversation scheduled for today. Still a good time for you?
Yeah, now it's a great time to chat.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I know that you know who you are. I just want you to know that I know who you are as well and how precious your time is. So I will absolutely honor the 2 minutes and 45 seconds we have left. And again, much gratitude. Mr. Culp, you have a lot of people that want to talk to you about a lot of different things. And I know the topic that is present here is one that is often avoided and uncomfortable for organizations. So if I may ask, what prompted you to say yes to this? I'm super grateful. But what was the why prompt behind your acceptance of this conversation?
Yeah, I think folks with disabilities have a lot of things to add in our workspace. I think there's a lot of areas that they can contribute. So yeah, it's something we really want to grow in our organization. And when I saw your email over, I just, wanted to take the call to learn more.
Awesome. Much gratitude. And, you as CEO, Mr. Culp, of GE Aerospace, what's your outcome overall for the company, and how does this concept of hiring folks with disability, diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, how does this integrate into the overall mission of the company, as well as your personal mission as CEO? Confidentially, I'm not looking for just like a canned response. Of course, we want to hire disabled people. Of course, we want to have an ESG rating that makes sense and want to be good people. But anything more than that that's present for you in the overall why vision of the company and how this integrates.
Yeah, so I think at the end of the day, every business trying to grow revenue, right, and reduce costs as much as possible. I think there's a lot of talented folks within the disabled community that a lot of businesses actually haven't tapped into. So I think from a talent perspective and also just driving more revenue for the business, there's a lot of talented folks that we can tap into. There's a lot of talent there that might not have been explored. So for the grand vision of the business, I think there's something there that we can talk with and build more relations with people in the disabled community. And myself personally, have some family members that are losing their vision as they get older. And yeah, I know how it feels to lose that sense of independence. So I want, just to do good in that aspect as well.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Culp, much gratitude, and I can feel your heart and presence to it. In our final 60 seconds or so, could I share a couple of things that may or may not resonate with you?
Sure.
Yep. So I'm Dr. Kirk Adams. I spent my life as a blind man. And what I'm going to stand for is not only changing the unemployment rate of the blind, not only changing unemployment rates for folks suffering from a myriad of or facing a myriad of disabilities and challenges, but also to develop the skill sets to cause people in these spaces to realize that while we need more from our laws, we need more from corporate America, we also need more from ourselves. And one of the things that I've done is connect with this gentleman, Sean Callaghy, his platform Unblinded, that teaches folks a lot of stuff that they essentially need, not only to function, and not only to do great, but to be truly masterful at adding value in the corporate space. So I know we're at time, and I promised that we would complete on time. And so all I'm proposing to you, Mr. Culp, will be a 30-minute follow-up conversation where we can outline a revenue growth plan that raises the ESG rating of GE Aerospace, that also creates new training dynamics for the company overall, some of which we would have as an absolutely complementary basis, but most importantly, how we could advance your outcome in employing folks with disabilities and blind people as the company itself grows. We have data, blueprints, numbers, and all my simple request is a 30-minute follow-up conversation if something here has resonated. So Mr. Culp, please, what say you?
That sounds great. I really like how you outlined everything that you could help with, and would love to hear more.
Awesome. Thank you. And the last thing I want this meeting to be about is you doing something kind and nice, but instead how you can help this company grow in a new, innovative way. And thank you, Mr. Culp. And shall I set that meeting up with your assistant, Tom, as we did this?
Yep, that sounds great.
Great. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Appreciate you. Okay.
Thanks so
And
much.
a roll. Patrick, first of all, thank you for being Mr. Culp, and thank you for being here today in the feedbacker seat. How did I do as Dr. Kirk Adams, and how was your experience on Dr. Kirk Adams' Heart of Influence overall, Patrick?
Yeah, I think you did a really good job, like playing the sales role. I think I really liked how you understood the persona of, a CEO of like a aerospace company, because those folks are probably bombarded with meetings, right? So you were very cognizant of the time limits and just got to the point very quickly. And also, I really like the ending that you did. There was like a very clear follow-up and next steps. So that was really great. And yeah, I think overall this experience being a part of your program today was great, because it's nice to see and hear everybody talk, get feedback, and practice the how do I say conversation when trying to make a sale, because it's sometimes uncomfortable, right?
Sure.
And getting the opportunity to just talk and share is really helpful, and practice that.
Well, I appreciate that. On the 25th anniversary of the tipping point, which was October 1st, Malcolm Gladwell released Revenge at the Tipping Point. And so how we would frame, thank you, Patrick, for all that, for everybody, is we're definitely not sales training. We're not marketing training. We're not leadership training. We're not management training. We're not recruiting training. We're not fundraising training. And we're not for-profit fundraising training. And we're not how do you have pizza instead of chicken fingers training, which I want the chicken fingers because you're making them, to be very clear. But what this is how do we cause yes? And how do we create virality with the causing of yes? Because yes isn't just a one-on-one dynamic. How do we create yeses that scale to one-to-many? Because that's what Amazon did. That's what Facebook did. That's what all the giant conglomerate nations or companies in the nation. So Warren Buffett, that's what Oprah Winfrey did. What's what Bruce Springsteen has done, Beyonce, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, they have created individual yeses scale to group yes. And so fundamentally, that's what this is all about, what that science looks like. And if you haven't read the Tipping Point, Revenge Tipping Point, it's extraordinary. I definitely highly recommend it. And Patrick, thank you as well. Jamal, appreciate you. Love the congruence, the energy. And how was your time today on Dr. Kirk Adams' Heart of Influence?
Thank you so much. This was beyond more informative than what I could have imagined, especially given everybody's experience and expertise in their own respective fields. Right, it brings the level of humbleness to know that you're doing something, but there's more you could always do, and there's different ways you can achieve that more. And so I love the idea of you're just getting a yes, and the yes will take you to many, many, many more yeses. And the work that I do, that's exactly where my focus is how to get that yes, that initial yes, that'll lead to the turnover for more yeses. So thank you guys. This was
Thanks,
amazing.
Jamal. And we have a webinar coming up, which you guys are invited to on October 22nd with Allison Armstrong. But here's the key. This is the perfect illustration of what I'm referring to. So we're going to run a webinar. We have about 1,600 people registered as of right now. We're going to get to about 3,000 by October 22nd. We'll probably carry 1,000 people live on the webinar because about 1/3 of people who say they're going to come. And it's a 90-minute webinar. But Allison Armstrong has a 100,000 person email list. So first, we had to create a yes with Allison to partner, right? Yes. Second, yes. Allison, can we co-promote the webinar to our world, our ecosystem, and yours? Yes. What that unlocked is instead of a one-on-one conversation, we're having a 1 to 1,000 conversation. And that 1 to 1,000 conversation or group dynamic will lead to somewhere around 200 to 400 sales meetings for our company, right? And so how you create yeses to scale is a part of what we're chatting about here today. But I would, since we've gone more deeply than probably initially intended to some of this influence piece and where to apply it. So influence isn't just about causing yes, it's really much more about which yeses to cause. And the mathematical truth of that is this. If you create 20% of people you speak to say yes to you, 20%, and those 20% of people are all, let's say, individual charitable fundraising people, or they're a buy your services person, and you go 2 for 10, and you do really great at training how to create yes, and you get to 60%. Well, that's going to create a relatively meaningful differential for sure, but nothing like if you stayed at 20%, and instead of creating individual yeses, you're creating ecosystem partnership yeses that create exponentiality and scale. And so if there's one thing that we want you to take away from today, it wouldn't be, hey, there's some interesting things about how to cause yes. It would instead be, which yeses should you be causing and how do you get there? Yeah. So thank you for that, Jamal, for sure. Kim, thank you for being here today. Appreciate you and love the energy and the feedback. And how was your time today on Dr. Kirk's Heart of Influence, Kim?
It was excellent. I didn't know what to expect. I came in here totally blind. So
that makes 2 of us. Or more.
I'm walking away with something that just it changes what I'm going to open up with. I love the fact when you said what prompted you to say yes to this meeting. Too often I dive in and I don't really do that. I'm all about what I'm trying to get out. And I love the fact that the way you ask for permission, the way you prompt it to me is so critical because it gets you closer to where you want to be. So I want to thank Kirk, as I call him, my little brother, my younger brother, for inviting me today. This has been phenomenal. Aside from learning what a lot of you all are doing, it warms my heart because my daughter will be impacted by a lot of the things happening here today. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that very much. Eddie, thank you for being the feedbacker seat, being present today. And how was your time with Dr. Kirk Adams' Heart of Influence?
I have to say, I love engaging with leaders that lead by example. And so I think this entire past hour was just a small sample of the message that you have been echoing. And it's wonderful. I'm glad to also now share and lean into the experience as well. So thank you.
No, appreciate that very, very much, Eddie. And yeah, lots more to unpack for sure. Dave, thank you for your presence, your candor, and your feedback.
But he had to jump.
Dave had to jump. Excellent. Like out of a plane?
I think
No,
so.
excellent.
I think he was parachuting.
Let's go, Jeff. Jeff let us off in the feedback or
Yes.
the participant
Yes.
seat, right? So Jeff, thank you for leading us off in the participant seat. Really wonderful job. Never an easy place to be because we're not trained in the world, not in kindergarten, first, second, third, eighth, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, not an Ivy League university, state university, community college. It just doesn't happen that way. We've had folks in this show that teach sales at Yale, and it was literally, with great respect, one of the most atrocious examples of listening I've ever seen in my entire life. It was shocking. So the traditional educational model is not causing people mastery in how they create yes. And so you being here and doing a great job, as well as Rob and everybody, warms our heart. Thank you for the courage, vulnerability. And Jeff, how was your time today on Dr. Kirk Adams' Heart of Influence?
Well, thank you, Sean, so much for having me here. And Kirk, Dr. Kirk, thank you so much for reconnecting. I know it's been many, many years since we've spoken or have met each other. Dr. Kirk and I know each other from years back when I was working at Verizon. I think today also helped to exemplify a life lesson that I like to go by. Have an opportunity to fail. Because when you have an opportunity to fail, that gives you a bridge, an opening to then succeed because you learn from your failure. I can't tell you how many times that I've been traveling with a guide dog, go to a corner, and I'll have somebody grab me by the arm and say, "Hey, here, let me help you walk across the street." You get there and it's like, I really didn't want to go across the street. I actually wanted to know if I was at the right corner to determine if I was left or right.
Amen, brother. Amen, brother.
Or here, let's do it even better. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. We should use them in that same proportion when we're trying to provide opportunities for people to buy into something. So speak half the amount of time that you listen to somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen. And I would love to talk for the next 4 hours about the dynamics of, I'll come out of the ocean surfing and people who I know will be around. And then I'll be like walking off the beach and people will be trying to help me. I just came out of
where were you out of the waves?
Yeah, like I was out there by myself and now you're trying to help me walk on the beach. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Yes, awesome job. And Bella.
Let's go with the man kicking us off into the in the judges seat, Mr. PK. How was your time with us on the Heart of Influence today?
Oh, this was really, really nice. And thank you to you both and Kurt for, proposing this. So, to understand, and compare it with a social gathering, we gather, we sometimes chat, we might have a drink or two, but to actually get to practice a little bit of what is really necessary for all of us, that part is the best. So thank you for that.
Thank you. PK. Amen to that. When we train and we rise in mastery, we win. Daniel and the Karate Kid had a wax on, wax off a whole bunch. People don't like wax on and waxing on and waxing off, but that's the difference that makes all the difference. And thanks for being a part of that today, PK.
Yes, thanks.
And last but not least, Mr. Ken, who has Rotary behind him. And fun fact, Rotary was the first speaking engagement I ever had, was at a Rotary Club. So Ken, how was your time with us on Dr. Kirk's Heart of Influence?
And no, it was great. I as the president of a Rotary Club that's global and is working towards the advocacy of people with disabilities, the yes that I am looking for is to get people to join on to our commitment and on a global level. So listening to you all today helped me learn a little more about how to do that. It's also important of what we're doing is networking, and there are people in this room that I would love to network with to get them to come on board to our cause and try to work on the human rights for people with disabilities around the world and break that stigma that so many people with disabilities are trying to deal with. So if we can connect with some of the people in this room, I'd love to. Dr. Kirk and I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago. I'm still thinking about the things he said because he motivated me in a lot of different directions. So.
Incredible man, that Dr. Kirk Adams. And I am not speaking on behalf of Dr. Kirk Adams, I am not speaking on behalf of all blind people because that's just not my place. I am speaking on behalf of myself. As one thing I would invite you to consider as you're working with and supporting people with disabilities, what I think doesn't happen enough. Kirk Adams does this, but I don't think it happens enough. I don't think people like me, 75% of whom were unemployed, and including many people in my own family, receive enough of what my coaches in high school did for me, which is to lovingly, empathetically, respectfully, precisely, directly cause me to be even more responsible for my future. Companies need to be more responsible. Laws need to be more responsible, but so do people who are like me. I believe that wholeheartedly. So just, as you're out there as a leader and a person of influence, inspiring people to take responsibility, to improve their skills, to grow, to confront, to deal with their fears, to me is the greatest gift you could possibly give somebody like me. That's my thoughts. I invite you to consider them, and I really thank you for being here.
Sean,
Appreciate that.
one quick question.
Yes.
Since we're all leaders here and we're all people that are involved with diversity and understanding inclusivity, is it possible if we all can agree to share each other's emails so that we can stay
Oh my
connected?
goodness. Of
Work as a
course.
network?
Yeah. That's Dr. Kirk's jam. And I believe that's 100% acceptable. And yeah, Jeff, for sure. Yes.
By all means, please, Dr. Kirk, please feel free to share my email amongst everybody here. And I'd love to get everybody to contact me so that we can continue the conversations.
We'll do that.
Awesome, Jeff. Thank you.
Thanks for being here, Jeff.
Dr. Kirk Adams, much gratitude, love, and appreciation for you. There's few people that I don't respect anyone more than I respect Kirk Adams. And my respect for him is because I've seen how impeccable his integrity is. And one of the things Bella very kindly says about a blinded space is like what you see in front of the camera is what you see behind it. With Dr. Kirk Adams, it's even better behind the camera. He's great in front of the camera. He's great out front as a leader. It's even greater behind. So from that place, sir, your final, Dr. Kirk.
Well, you just made my day, Sean. Thank you. And this is my best hour of my month when I get to be with you and host a great group of heart-centered people on my Heart of Influence show. And again, I just appreciate you creating this space and allowing me to use it. I just appreciate you, Bella. You do bring the heart to the Heart of Influence. And thanks,
Thank you,
Sean,
Dr. Kirk.
for everything you're doing. So,
Brother, thank you. And we
go
got to
go forth and do good stuff.
Amen. We got Alyssa working on the stuff because we're working on the stuff. And Dr. Kirk, I want you to know this: unprecedented levels of acceleration in everything we're creating, and investing in to take all this work and everything that we've been talking about to the world. And I'm very grateful and excited to continue to update you. So thank you on that.
Right on.
It's been an extra long one because Dr. Kirk so abundantly introduced so many beautiful souls together today, and that's a great value. Definitely speak with Dr. Kirk. Yes.
Well, yes. Everyone came.
Yes. Beautiful. No, I love it. No, that's how to do it, Dr. Kirk. That's how to do it, brother. As you know, couple quick gifts because we are over. Thank you for staying here, and we thank our guests that had to jump before. And I do say this in quadruple final. We do the show 1,400 times, and there is a profound effect when something comes out of somebody's mouth, even unintentionally, and dropping the certainty and creating awkwardness, and we call it dropping certainty. So if you're in any leadership dynamic and there's any statement, sentence that could drop the certainty of the group, do I belong here? Is it worth my time? Should I be here? Is this for me? Anything like that, you got to deal with it, right? So it wasn't in any way, shape, or form meant against anybody that was here. I do that just automatic. It's automatic. And we do this show all the time, and my skills at doing it are humbly, extremely high, but I do the same thing with anybody on my team. I extinguish doubt integriously. Any micro misframe, false frame in my management, my leadership, our marketing, our sales, we are constantly looking at accurately frame, because if that frame is off, all influence, individual and group, is destroyed. So to affect that, we have our ebook on group influence. That's our gift to you. It's available. We also have it in hard copy, but our ebook is our gift. And October 22nd, that webinar, the link will be dropped in the chat. You definitely want to be there. Even if you just come to see how we execute and how we put 1,000 people together or 3,000 registrants, 1,000 people together and watch what that looks like, I guarantee you'll be like, whoa. So don't just, I mean, it's called Mastering Men, Women, and Money. It is mind-boggling. And Alistair Armstrong is this great relationship expert in the world. So the actual content will be incredible. But the process and structure to witness what we're doing in integrity is also incredible. So we invite you to that. And we have a few other gifts, including final, the business acceleration session. Bell's laughing because I keep hitting the microphone by accident and sometimes on purpose. Not that one was on purpose though. The business acceleration session is, I promise, even more valuable than any introduction you could have today on my reputation. It'll give you clarity on how to do some of the things we've talked about here today. And we've never had a single person, not one, and we've run upwards of 5,000, maybe pushing 10,000 business acceleration sessions now with Unblinded. Never had a single person say anything except, wow. And that's what you'll say. So thank you all for that. And on behalf of anything you want to add in like 10-second final, we're so late.
No, we are definitely way over. So over to you.
Thank you. We end every show by saying this. I may be physically blind, which I am, but I'm absolutely certain as to the possibilities for acceleration that sit right in front of all of us for financial abundance, our time, freedom, and scaling, our magic, our impact. All of it so often sits right there in front of our face. But at some level, Bella, we are all blind.
And just learning to see.